Welcome to the New World Order Showcase Podcast. Your host, Jill Hart, the Coach's Alchemist. Couldn't be more excited to have you join us today. On this podcast, we celebrate the champions of change, the up-and-coming life, health and transformational coaches who are fearlessly stepping forward to make a difference in the world. Get ready for inspiring stories, practical tips, and powerful moments that will motivate you to make a positive change in your life and those around you. We're happy to have you join us on this incredible journey as we dive into the world of life, health, and transformational coaches who are lighting up the path towards a better tomorrow.
Hi, and welcome to the New World Order Showcase podcast. Today, we are talking with Lauren Tassi. Lauren is a copywriter and a launch strategist, which is perfect for all the life, health, and transformational coaches out there looking to up-level their copywriting and launching their new programs. So welcome to the show, Lauren. It's nice to have you here.
Thanks so much, Jill. It's exciting to be here. I love talking about all this stuff, and I feel like I can hopefully really help your audience out.
Awesome. So let's start at the beginning. How'd you get started?
One of my favorite questions. I feel like we kind of all come from like my first business, my second business, right? We all kind of have like these a varied background. I live in Los Angeles. My like out of college career was entertainment. I worked in TV casting for 10 years, had basically my dream job and realized I didn't want that. Nobody in my industry was happy. I wanted more freedom. I wanted, to be able to live life on my terms. So I transitioned out of doing that full time and was freelancing in that business. And then at the same time, started some smaller, I had like a handmade clothing business. I was helping my husband with some marketing stuff and basically realized I liked marketing. I was good at marketing and I had a portfolio of all my copywriting samples from the other businesses I'd done. So I quit freelancing in entertainment and just started taking more freelance copywriting jobs. And that was like 7 years ago. From there, I sort of built more of a business rather than just a freelancing kind of thing. And I started in e-commerce because that's where my experience was. And as I got into marketing and I got into like building my own business, I started taking all these courses, right? And working with coaches and being like, oh, wow, this personal development stuff, this transformation stuff is really cool. And I just really vibed with coaches, right? I love talking to coaches. It's like my favorite part of what I do. So I kind of realized, well, I can use my copy skills for coaches, which is really much more in alignment with like my ideal clients and the people I want to work for and the, businesses I want to promote. So then I transitioned to working, doing copy for coaches. And so now I do like basically entire funnel builds, from everything from ad copy to emails to landing pages and sales pages, all of that.
Yeah. I think this is coming back to me. We met over on LinkedIn, right?
Exactly.
And you went through one of my landing pages and okay. Now I'm putting all this together. I'm a little slow some days.
That's all right.
So what are some of your general tips for people when they're putting together things like landing pages or opt-in pages? Let's start at the top of the funnel with, lead magnets.
I think the biggest thing, and this kind of applies to all of it, is knowing your audience and talking to your audience. And not just assuming you know what their problems are or, assuming you know what they're struggling with, because that's really where effective copy comes from, effective lead magnets. A great lead magnet is something that solves a problem for somebody immediately. And it's like a bite-sized problem. It's not, how to get more clients or how to build a business. That's like way too much for a lead magnet. You want, how to get your first client in 30 minutes. That's a great lead magnet. Something that just really solves the problem, gives them a quick win, and builds that trust factor with you, right? Because if you can deliver on something and how to get a client in 30 minutes, that's great. Like, I'll buy whatever you're selling because you already got me this for free. So that's sort of the thing on lead magnets. And then just the more in general thing is talking to your audience, knowing your audience. Even if you're just starting out, if you're not, not super experienced, just talk to people, do coffee chats, do whatever, wherever your people are hanging out, be there and ask questions and really listen and then take those words they use. That's like the secret to all of it. And sometimes it feels like cheating to like literally like copy and paste something your client says about you and turn that into a headline. But that's what's effective. That's how you write copy that makes people think, oh my gosh, she's totally in my head. She knows exactly what I'm struggling with. This is the person I want to work with.
Okay. And then from the lead magnet, we're going to get to the opt-in page. Why do you think that's important? And what tips do you have about an opt-in page?
I think that the most important thing to remember about an opt-in page is even if it's a freebie, people are still giving up their email address, right? That's like, we get so many emails all day long. You need to make it compelling. It can't just be, here's the name of the thing, put your email address in here. Thanks so much. If you have a testimonial or like some sort of review of your lead magnet, throw that on there. Even just a couple of the benefits, right? A couple bullet points that are the benefits. You'll get, more energy, more clarity, more, whatever the best part of your lead magnet is, put that on there and remind people so they are compelled to put their email address in. Because there's a lot of times people are going to see your thing, go to put their email address in, and you might lose them in those 5 seconds.
Yeah, just the reminder of, you really want this really bad.
Yeah. You
and they
clicked
are
on
actually
here.
paying for something. Whenever you exchange something for something else, that's paying. You're giving up your email address. And yeah, you're right. We get so many emails, which kind of leads into my next question, which is emails. You got to make them spectacular and you got to hook them right in the beginning. What other comments do you have about emails?
Yeah. I think there's also a balance of providing value and asking for a sale. And it's going to be different for every industry, different for every person. Like what resonates with you isn't going to resonate with somebody else. But the most important thing is to be like sort of thinking long-term and not just like sitting down once a week to write an email and throwing something at the wall and seeing what sticks. If you have a launch coming up, if you're working on a program, what are sort of the topics or like the things that are going to come up for people as they might be interested in this program, and like start putting that out there, putting out content related to your offers, but without making them a direct sale, because that builds desire. So that way then somebody goes, oh yeah, I remember she knows what she's talking about when it comes to this problem. So now I already trust her. She's given me some help here in the emails. Let me check out the sales page. Let's see what this is all about.
Yeah. And then we come to the landing page. This is just like the step-by-step through the funnel as I see it. So, which is probably pretty helpful to most coaches out there, because you'd be amazed how many people don't really know what the process is for each of these steps. So when you get to the landing page is where you send people to from the lead magnet and also from your emails, right?
Yes. So a landing page can be an opt-in page. A landing page can be a sales page. Are you talking specifically about where somebody's going to make a purchase?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I tend to call that a sales page, but it is also a landing page. And for there, what's most important is to really kind of take the reader on a bit of an emotional journey. And your headline is always going to be in relation to what the big transformation is, the big win that they're going to have when they work with you, when they finish the program, when they finish the course, whatever it is. And then it's just about using pain points, which are, what they're struggling with, what sort of their problems are right now, and then building desire for what their life could look like once they go through your program, once they work with you, and using that throughout the page. And sort of, it's this really cool thing you could do. It's kind of like music, like you're playing with tension. It might be a little bit uncomfortable for a second, but it's okay. Don't worry. We have a solution. We're going to tell you all about here's how this works. So just using those emotions and reminding that remembering that it's about your client. It's not about you. It's not a biography. I always, you definitely want a section on there with your face and, here's who I am, here's who I help, here's why I'm qualified. But that's like the tiniest part of your sales or your landing page. It's really about your client, their journey, and what they're going to get out of all of it.
Where they are, where they want to go,
Mm-hmm.
and help them figure it out. So you actually offer this service to people so they don't have to do it themselves. Is that correct?
That's correct. And that's kind of my big thing that over the years working with coaches, I see them struggle with, because there's all these gurus out there that say you have to do your own copy, you have to do all your own marketing. And I 100% agree. Learning how to do that in the beginning is so helpful, especially if that's not your background. If you're coming from a completely, you're coming from like healthcare or something where you never really learned that. When you're just getting started, learning how to do that and just learning the techniques behind it is so valuable, because it will inform how you speak when you show up on a podcast or when you do a live on Instagram or something. But I think once you have a couple of paying clients, once it's becoming a business and not just sort of a new business or a startup, it's time to invest in working with somebody, because it's really draining for a lot of coaches. That's what I'm learning, is like takes a lot of creative energy to write copy. And there's so many other ways you could be helping your clients, you could be growing your business, rather than sort of like forcing yourself to do your copy because that marketing guru 5 years ago told you have to write all your own copy. They're not writing their own copy. Maybe they did in the beginning, but I really think that once you hit a certain level, it's not helping your business anymore by sort of putting you in a box.
And doing everything yourself. That's
Mm-hmm.
a recipe for A, burnout,
Yes.
and B, it's not scalable. You can't do everything all the time. If you're going to have a business, you're going to have to invest in it. It's like if you had a brick and mortar business, you're going to hire employees. You can't keep it open all the time if you don't. So how does it look to work with people? And you're not just a copywriter, you're a launch strategist, which is a little bit different than just going to like Fiverr and having people write you up, or what's that other one? Upworks, to find, somebody to write your emails for you. It all needs to tie together. There's a branding element to any business, and you need to find somebody who catches your brand essence and really work with you to go all the way through the launch process. Do you want to talk to that a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm so glad you brought that up, because a great copywriter will do some strategy no matter what, but a lot of times they're looking to you, the business owner, for direction. So you can come to me as somebody who does strategy, who does, full funnels and can do all that. And you can go, I don't know what to do. Please help me. And that's what I love. I love sort of holding the space to kind of dig into all the random thoughts in your brain, all the, well, I really want to do this, but I struggle with this. And, here's why I do this. And you can kind of brain dump all that on me. That's the beginning of my process. And then I will take that and turn that into an actual marketing strategy, a launch plan, a funnel, whatever is right for you and your business. And I'm big on customization, right? If you hate going on Instagram, then you know what? We're not going to make Instagram a part of your strategy. If you love doing podcasts and you hate writing emails, okay, great. How can we make this into a podcast funnel versus emails that are super draining? And that's sort of where having another person to talk to is really helpful. It's really hard to do your own copy and your own marketing when you're a personal brand, because it is you essentially, being able to talk about yourself in this sort of objective customer view can be really challenging. So that's where the brainstorming comes in. That's where the strategy comes in. And then I also will do the writing for you. So it's you showing up, brain dumping some ideas on me. And then a couple days later, you're going to get some copy in your inbox that sounds like you wrote it, but better. And you get revisions and we can go through that process. But yeah, it's just about sort of taking all that off your plate and not just like, okay, you don't have to write the email. You also don't have to worry about the email. You don't have to worry if it, makes sense in the sequence, if it makes sense in regards to the landing page. It's all sort of taking that off your plate so you can focus on helping your clients. You can focus on growing your business.
And that is really helpful, especially for people that aren't like that are coaches. They're coaching around all kinds of things like health or mindset or transforming your whole life. They're not in the entrepreneurial. Most coaches didn't sign up to be entrepreneurs. They signed up to help people. And that even transfers over into the sales part of the process. It's icky to kind of have to ask for money, but we all have to ask for money because otherwise we're not going to be a business. But it's nice to know that there are people out there like you that can help them walk all the way through this piece of the process. And it is just like one piece of a overarching business plan, but it's an important one. And having somebody who knows the ropes and knows how to pretty much just give you everything you need to get it off the ground, and so that you can actually have something to market in order to get clients. Because if you don't have some marketing system set up, you're not going to find clients. You might find one or two. I shouldn't say you're not going to find them. You might find them. But if you want it to be systematic and if you want it to scale, you need to have some sort of a system in place.
Yeah. And I find that that's something that isn't necessarily taught when you get your coaching certification. I've talked to so many coaches and they're like, okay, but now what do I do? Like, okay, I know how I can help all these people. I have all these tools. I can change these lives, but like, where are the people? And so that's sort of, again, why I'm like, okay, well, you don't have to do this all on your own. There are, that's why I'm not a coach also. It's because a coach is going to help you figure out how to do things. We're like, that's okay. I'll just do it for you. Let's work together. You don't have to figure this out.
So what do you do for pricing? Is it like individual? Do you have like a set price? Do you have certain things that you do?
So I'm just changing up the way you work with me model. What we're doing now is the first part is the strategy. Is we sit down, we do, it's a 90-minute interview followed by a marketing strategy, a launch funnel, sort of whatever the thing is you need. And it's the plan, right? It's taking everything that you're thinking, all those thoughts swirling around your head and turning it into an actionable plan. That session, that deliverable, that's $750 and you can take that, you can run with it. You can go implement on your own. You can, give it to somebody on your team. You can hire a freelancer. That's yours. That's yours to run with. If you want to work together after that, then that's a custom price based on what we've decided in that first step of the process. And that's usually like around $5,000 is usually like a full funnel, a full launch package in terms of copy.
Yeah, that's very reasonable. And you work with whatever their branding is, and because you're just like picking their brains.
Yeah, and I think that's
their voice.
Yeah, that's sort of my superpower is that you and I could now, after this conversation between you and me, I could probably go write some stuff in your voice and, drop some hints in there. I kind of, like I said, I love this part of the process. And this is where I kind of just like soak up who you are and your vibe and then go put it on paper.
Yeah, that's a unique superpower. It's not often that you can just go to somebody and say, okay, let's have a conversation. And this is who I am. This is what I want to do. These are my favorite colors. This is who I want to work with.
Yeah.
Can you just like bundle it all up and give it to me in a way that will make them maybe want to work with me or at least learn more about me.
Yeah.
So are there any other things? I know that you have some things on your website that you offer for people to help them get to know you a little bit more. What you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, so I have I created a launch checklist. I call it the Zen AF launch checklist. And it's basically like a 3-month plan of like everything you should be thinking about ahead of your launch. So that's on my website. My website's laurentassiagency.com. It's my name. You can go and grab that checklist, and then you'll also end up on my email list. And I send one email once a week. Usually it's like value, here's how you do this. Here's my favorite ChatGPT prompt. Here's, actual, actionable something you can go and run with. And that way you can take some, steal some of the thoughts in my head, steal some of my tips, and implement those in your own business.
I have to say, I did go through that checklist, and there's a little bit of humor in there too.
That's how I roll. If you go to my website, it's like pink and sparkly. Like when I first started out, I was ranking on Google for e-commerce copywriter. Like immediately I got my SEO working, and I was getting these people coming to me, and they were just like so boring. It was like people selling door hinges. And I was like, this is not my business. This is not what I want to do. So I just sort of leaned into like my sense of humor and my vibe. And that's really worked for me in terms of branding.
I get the unicorn feel, even though there are no unicorns on your page. Okay.
Love it.
So is there anything else you want to leave the audience with? Is there anything that you'd like to just share with them that I haven't asked you about?
I feel like I just want to say again, like, if you're struggling with copy, if you're struggling with the messaging in your business and really sort of getting all the big thoughts you have in your head into like actual words on a website, ask for help. Even if it's not a copywriter you're paying, talk to another, a coach in your network, talk to a friend, because it's so hard to get out of your own head and talk about your business. So just sort of having like a wrap session or, whatever, where you can kind of have someone's objective opinion about, what you do and who your ideal client is and how to take all that information and turn it into words that connect and convert can be super valuable.
Yeah, that is true. And there are times when I look at websites, I look at a lot of websites where you're not really sure what the person's doing. And I know it's really clear to them what they do, but if they just had somebody else go look at it and give them some feedback, it could mean the difference between really making sales and not making sales, and having people, want to know more about you and taking advantage of your, freebies and lead magnets and things like that.
Absolutely.
So was that the one thing that you wanted to leave the audience with, or was that just like the extra stuff?
I think that's like just my message is like, if you're struggling with this, you don't have to do it alone, whether that's, hiring a professional copywriter and get it totally done for you in a confident way, or just like talking to a friend, because I think that we all, as entrepreneurs, we're all kind of in our own little bubble. And so just call a friend, ask for help. That's my thing.
Well, I really appreciate that. And we'll make sure that we do put your URL in the show notes below. Thank you so much for joining me, Lauren. This has been really fascinating. I appreciate it a lot.
Awesome. It's been so great chatting with you.
Thank you so much for tuning in to another empowering episode of the You World Order Showcase podcast. We hope you've enjoyed hearing from our incredible life, health, and transformational coaches who are making a profound impact on the world. Remember, change begins with you, and you have the power to transform your life and the lives of others. If you want to take that next step and unlock your true potential, visit thecoachesalchemist.com, where you can find the 3 ways we can help you for free to spin your talent into gold with clarity, a system, and a plan. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you never miss an inspiring episode. And if you enjoyed today's show, we'd greatly appreciate it if you could leave us a review on your favorite podcast platform. Your feedback means the world to us and helps us reach more people with our positive message. Stay connected with us on social media for updates, behind-the-scenes content, and upcoming guest announcements. You can find us on Facebook at the You World Order, or simply visit thecoachesalchemist.com.